1902, 90 years old. Model B Ford. Now this Model B Ford has been converted with a Morton and Beck overhead valve conversion. Young man, have you ever heard of the
Two prime.
What year is it?
39.
39.
Could be yours for the low price back in the day, $435. So we've got the gas on, the choke on. We do 2 kicks to prime it and 1 kick to make it make some noise. So we got 1. I'm actually gonna do 1 more prime. You can kind of hear it. All right. Timing. Let's make some noise. Is going to be one of your best years of knucklehead to have, because 36, 37, they're still working with some of those first few year design flaws. 38, 39, those are going to be where you still get that kind of sweet spot of you get all the gorgeous 30s styling, but you get all those first few years design flaws kind of ironed out. Don't worry.
was literally standing still. The people going out was going faster, the people going out were going faster. Yeah. So, of course, this setup here is exactly the same. So, you press the lever and you go out, and you go out, and you go out. The car runs exactly the same, except it hasn't got that spriget in the middle. So when the car gets to the middle, you're not going forwards, not going backwards, but when you cross on the other side, you're actually in reverse. This was called a car with 1,000 gears because you would actually just change it and it would go faster and faster and faster. For the same price to relayer the bell, it would be the same price to lubricate a transmission of a normal system. So this is like forerunner of the CDH. But that's not why he's famous. Do you know who he is? This is a 1915 locomobile. Locomotive automobile. In 1899, John E. Walker, not Johnny Walker the whiskey, but John E. Walker, who owned the Cosmopolitan magazine, he would pay the Stanley brothers $250,000 to get the patents or the patents or whatever you Americans call it for the Stanley steamer. That was equivalent to $7.777 million in 2020, so probably about 8 million today. Now, the first ever military vehicle used in a war situation would be a locomobile. This was the Boer War, 1899 to 1902. The Boers of South Africa were fighting the British Army. Now the British would use locomobiles as military vehicles. They had spotlights on it, and that had to be kept full of steam day or night, just in case the Boers would come to the siege cities. At that time, Mannequin, Ladysmith and a number of other cities were being sieged. Anyway, you will be aware that one of the lieutenants was Lieutenant Baden-Powell, and that was how he got the idea of using young boys as runners, the forerunner of the Boy Scout system. Oh, for bloody hell, bells. Thank goodness. So, what you will see is the British loved the locomobile because, as I said, when it was on full steam to be able to move this spotlight at any time, day or night, they could get a spanner. They could whack the boiler with their spanner. The steam would erupt. It would go up, across and down an overflow pipe. The British soldier could then catch that steam in a teapot. They could make a cup of tea any time, day or night. Of course, when that clumsy so-and-so goes and gets himself killed, the locomobile was then given an internal combustion engine. The Stanley brothers were sold the steam engine back. So Andy Reike would actually build a 525 cubic inch engine, 2 cylinders, 2 cylinders, 2 cylinders. If any of them cylinders cracked while they were making it, they could just throw 2 cylinders back in the melting pot. But what they didn't know about casting steel, they knew about casting bronze. Bronze engine block, bronze gearbox case, mahogany, copper, nickel was all used in this vehicle. Henry Ford would slash the price of the Model T to a shade under $300. This in 1915 would cost you $15,000. The Vanderbilts, Cecil B. DeMille's, Charles Chaplin, Geronimo all had locomobiles. Well, possibly not Geronimo, but Buffalo Bill Cody would have either a locomobile or a Cadillac to take the chief of the Indian Nation around the Wild West show in the grandeur that he deserved. So of course, if you're spending $15,000, Cartier and Tiffany's would actually be employed to do the cut of the glass, and if you look at the workmanship on the interior there. So this was a drop top, a rag top, I don't know what you call it in America, a convertible in England, and this one would have a top speed in 1915 of 85 miles an hour. It weighed off at around
Boy, was he ever wrong.
the right start.
Well, that's the thing with the